Hey, what's up with it, y'all? It's just truly Mr. PSA. I am the public Sony's announcements on Instagram. I am Sony Reviewed It on YouTube. Today, Spirit Airlines, the operation is shut down. Finito. Let's go to Fox News and let's go to Anton Daniels as we give you guys both my analysis and Anton's analysis on the shutdown of Spirit Airlines.
Another big story in the skies this morning. Spirit Airlines ceasing operations overnight after bailout talks with the White House broke down. The low-cost carrier leaving thousands of workers and travelers in a major bind. Chanley Painter has the details. Good morning, Chanley.
Hey, good morning, guys. So earlier today, the company announced it was going out of business and ending its operations immediately, telling passengers to not even go to the airport, saying, quote, "To our guests, all flights have been canceled and customer service is no longer available." Despite the company's efforts, the recent material increase in oil prices and other pressures on the business have significantly impacted Spirit's financial outlook. With no additional funding available to the company, Spirit has had no choice but to begin this wind down. Well, this morning's announcement could impact hundreds of thousands of travelers and reportedly some 17,000 employees. Through the month of May, some 9,000 flights and 60,000 potential passengers are now impacted. Plus, the airline would have had 1.8 million seats to sell and would have had some 300 flights per day. Spirit's shutdown comes after a deal with the federal government could not be finalized and as the budget carrier struggled to get back on its feet after a second bankruptcy in less than a year. According to the Wall Street Journal, the airline had been seeking a $500 million lifeline from the Trump administration. The president said this yesterday.
Well, I guess we're looking at it. If we could do it, we'd do it, but only if it's a good deal. But if we can't make a good deal, no institution's been able to do it. I said, I'd like to save the jobs. We gave them a final proposal.
Well, now other major carriers are stepping up to assist stranded Spirit workers and passengers, including Frontier Airlines, who tweeted, quote, "We are ready to support customers who may be impacted if Spirit Airlines ceases operations, with a focus on helping people continue their travel plans with low fare options." United and American Airlines say they are also ready to help. American says it has capped ticket prices on routes where it directly competes with Spirit to help.
So essentially, what you're seeing is that Spirit Airlines had already been in turmoil and trouble. A lot of people were looking to the Trump administration to save it. I said that they shouldn't save it because I didn't see a future for Spirit. It would have just been spending $500 million throwing money at the wall. And yeah, you would have saved a few jobs for a little bit, but they were losing hundreds of millions of dollars per year. And there was no path to success. My rule of thumb is if I wouldn't invest in it as a company, in in the stock market, then I would never invest in it. I wouldn't advise that our government invest in it because then it would become a nuisance. It would become the same thing that the post office is, and that they continuously looking for money, and we're subsidizing jobs, and that's the thing that we're looking to get away with. So, I remember also that Frontier was looking to merge with Spirit. I think JetBlue was trying to buy Spirit. The Biden administration actually stopped that, and now they're winding down operations. I had said this a couple weeks ago that Spirit Airlines was going to go out of business. I anticipated that Trump was going to make an offer. I didn't think that it was a good idea. And now the biggest thing is what happens to the customers that have already purchased tickets. I'm not sure what that looks like. I don't know if you actually can get a refund. I said that people should have gotten a refund a long time ago. This was a dying airline, and no merger, no anything was going to save it. Even if a company was going to buy out or merge or say, yo, we're going to buy Spirit or whatever and absolve their debt, they probably would have spun it off eventually or spun off some version of the business so they can offload debt from their own company and then and try to absorb their customer base, right? Maybe even their planes, salvage some of the things. But again, I think that the airline industry is a very, very bad industry to invest in. I tell everybody inside of the Patreon, stay away from airlines. I remember coming out of the pandemic, a lot of people were saying that they were going to invest in airline companies because there were a lot of companies that were basically overvalued based off of pump and dumps. But Spirit Airlines was never going to survive the next couple of years, and it was actually its second bankruptcy. So, outside of industries that would completely collapse the United States of America, including banking, I don't think that there should even be a bailout consideration. I know the Trump administration was trying to have a conversation about potentially saving jobs. I heard less than 10,000 direct Spirit jobs, and then obviously other jobs impacted on top of it. I know here in Metro Detroit Airport, DTW, we actually have hangars that are dedicated to Spirit, so I don't know what happens with that. But I'll have a more extensive conversation with you guys on the Millionaire Morning Show as a result of it. But Spirit was never the type of airline that you could save anyway. And I think that we need more consolidation so that we'll have higher profits, and then blaming it on fuel prices. Man, Spirit been going into the dumps for the last few years, right? And they've been in operation for decades. So we need to go ahead and lay that to pasture. I think that they have phenomenal colors, bad customer service, bad reputation. It was going down in the dumps.
Limit this.
So basically, Spirit Airlines, I would blame all this on the CEO, because as a chief executive officer, you know when your company is going down. Unfortunately, people who are going to be impacted are basically going to be a lot of the workers, because now they're going to be out of a job. The fun fact about Spirit, actually, they've been in business for 34 years, and they've known in their entire 34 years of being in business to actually have one of the safest flights to be in. Now, if you look at the customer service standpoint, is Spirit really their customer service wise? Their customer service was never good. They always had fights on board. The last time I took a Spirit flight, which was 10 years ago, going to Las Vegas, somebody was smoking on an airline. Now, I think it said here in an interview that the president did make an offer. I guess my question is, what is the offer that he made to them? And if he made the offer, how come they didn't take it before? I think it was like 3 years ago. Other airlines, Delta, Frontier, and United, were actually looking to buy the company, but my thing is, how come they didn't buy it? So all this, I can't really blame anybody but the CEO. When the company is going down, as the top dog, it is your job to take care of your peoples.
Disruptions, guys. Back to you.
All right, Chanley.
Thank you,
Chanley.
And that breaking news, Spirit Airlines reportedly closing down within the hour. We have just received an announcement from a union representing flight attendants that was sent out to its members, announcing the midnight end to the budget airlines. NBC4's Macy Jenkins has been at LAX since late this afternoon talking to passengers, and she joins us live right now with details. Macy, what do you know?
Well, Robert, there was chaos and confusion earlier. Now we have an answer. Spirit saying that in the next hour, it will cease its operations. The Association of Flight Attendants releasing a statement in part tonight saying, we are delivering the hardest news of our lives, that Spirit will permanently cease operations at 3 a.m. Eastern time on May 2nd. We have a lot to address together, and we will. Our union is with us now and always. Friday full of headaches for Spirit Airlines passengers at LAX.
And I got a text message that states his flight is canceled.
Travel plans disrupted.
They just had to be rebooked on a different Spirit flight.
The counters empty.
Yeah, no workers here right now, so everybody just lost.
The explanations non-existent.
Well, I mean, nobody's there. And I'm kind of confused. I'm not going to talk to an AI to figure out what I needed to do. I need to talk to a human.
All but 2 Spirit flights in and out of LAX are canceled tonight as word circulates about the company preparing to shut down. President Trump said Friday afternoon his administration has proposed a $500 million package that would give the federal government control of up to 90% of the airline.
We're looking at trying to help them, something we're not looking to get involved with, but if we can, it's 14,000 jobs.
A Spirit spokesperson declined to comment on ongoing discussions and told NBC News that Spirit is operating as usual. The airline carries more than 40 million passengers a year, operating a fleet of roughly 200 planes out of airports across the U.S., including LAX, Hollywood Burbank, and John Wayne. Spirit has filed for bankruptcy protection twice and announced plans to restructure in March to avoid shutting down. Last year, a federal judge blocked a merger with JetBlue, and now it faces surging jet fuel costs and increased competition.
This is not a viable business model anymore. The larger airlines, United, Delta, and so forth, they've all developed a super economy class specifically to compete against Spirit Airline type carriers.
Aviation expert Steve Cowell says the pilots and flight attendants will likely find work with other airlines, but support staff may have a tougher time finding positions. Cornell Bates and his wife say they've been blindsided as they end their honeymoon, trying to figure out now how to get home to Louisiana.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling very sad.
We have kids to get home too, so it's delaying us from being home with our kids.
Now, American, Frontier, and United Airlines have all said they are ready to support customers who've been affected by Spirit Airlines cancellation.
Yeah, this was a long time coming. I always thought that Spirit wouldn't be able to make it. I've always talked about it. Inside of the Patreon, I begged people, I made sure that none of my members actually even invested in any airline, let alone Spirit Airlines. I've been getting questions for years about the airline industry. I've advised against it. I don't think that they're the only ones that are going to close. If I had to guess, if you were forcing me to guess, I would also say that Frontier is very much next in line. Maybe a lot of people will move over to Frontier. I don't think that there will be any expansion into the industry. It is a debt-laden industry. All of these airline carriers are carrying a significant amount of debt, but right now, there really needs to be a focus on the people that have bought return flights from Spirit and have no ability to be able to get back home. I also think it's a little bit irresponsible for a company to sell return flights knowing that they're already on the verge of bankruptcy, or not even just bankruptcy, but closing the doors permanently, and that they're going to leave people stranded. That's unfortunate because then people have to spend some additional money with other airline carriers in order to get home. And those airline carriers are capping ticket prices because they're looking for loyalty from customers, looking for a new customer base. Let me know what you guys think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first.
This is bad news. This is bad customer service. Once again, this Spirit has been known for having bad customer service. This just shows and proves everybody who said Spirit had bad customer service right, because now they sold all these tickets like Anton just mentioned, and now people are left without tickets. I think down the road there's going to be lawsuits. I think a lot of people who did buy tickets with Spirit, I think they're probably going to end up suing the company, or I think what's going to happen is Spirit is going to be forced to reimburse all these passengers all the money that they pay for these tickets. So once again, like I said earlier, this right here, Spirit has been in trouble in the last 5 years. Yes, they're the safest airlines, but when it comes to taking care of customers, they're just not there. Now, the good thing is for other airlines like the other big three, Delta, United, American, they're probably going to grab some of these customers and bring them to them, because a lot of these other the big three, Delta, United, American, their customer base is to pretty much attract the customers and take care of you and win your loyalty. Spirit was just one of those, like, I'm looking for a cheap ticket. I want to go to Vegas. I want to go to Miami. I'll get you there. So, but anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you ever took Spirit Airlines, if you had a good experience or if you had a bad experience. I know for me, for a fact, I definitely had a bad experience. It is sad that they're going down like this, but like they said in the video, a lot of the pilots, a lot of the flight attendants would definitely get jobs with other airlines, because it's what other companies do. They take their former employees and hire them, and other ground-based employees will probably get jobs with other airlines, but it's going to be a long time. I do feel bad for these people. Anyways, guys, like, comment, subscribe to the channel as we continue to grow.